in audio. 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 In audio.
Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV, and we are live for the. I thought it's Christmas then. What's going on here? We're live for the Straightjacket podcast 231. I'm with my brothers from another mother. You get me? Man like Nuruddin is here in the building. Fresh background. If you know, that's his house, but now it looks like he's living the life. But it looks like he's chilling with Avram Glazer. He's got a new budget. Have you got 250k over there? Have you just spent 250k on that new pad over there? What's going on, Nuruddin? What are you saying, man? Everything all good? How's the weather treating you, Nuruddin? How's the weather treating you?
You know what? The weather's good, Nice weekend, nice weather. Not a nice weekend if you're in Manchester, really. The noisy neighbours are at it again. But, I'm going to talk about that. Who's going to stop them? That's the question I'm going to ask today, United Real Therapy later on at 6:05. But it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Just living in this city and just be in the depression almost. But you know what? Saying that, we win on Thursday. 1 point, or we get the point that we need, and we win. We're in the Champions League. But what does that really mean? What does it mean if you're gonna go just compete in the group stages and then get knocked out going to Europa? Like, what does it really mean? So it's going to be very summer, big summer ahead, interesting time ahead for Manchester United fans. Not even that, but football fans in this country, full stop. Because who's going to stop City, man?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Aaron, big up to you for joining us as well, man. Good to see you again, always, bro. What are you telling me?
I'm all good, man. All good. Obviously, in the same boat as Nordin. I was actually in town yesterday on the tram, and I seen a couple of City fans drunk, singing. Thankfully, it was only like two of them. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Two of them.
But I just said big up to Aaron for doing a video about Finis Junior about it.
Man. Solidarity, man.
Yeah. 100%.
Solidarity with Vinicius Junior, man. Solidarity.
Definitely. But yeah,
Absolutely.
other than that, I'm doing good, bro. Doing good. Bit of sunshine in Manchester. We don't always get that. So
Yeah.
all good, man. Happy days.
And people need to go check out Aaron's Twitter as well, showing off with his French and English commentary, yeah? Flexing.
Oh yeah. Go to my Twitter page. If you go to my Twitter, I've got I posted a bit of commentary, one in English, one in French, and ironically, it was for the Arsenal game. So you lot enjoy that.
Come on, come on. And obviously, we got a man like Brian who's decided to come in a costume here. I think that's an Arsenal badge I see there. Brian, how are you, mate? Everything all good?
Nah, for me, it was a good weekend. Still, it was a good weekend. I had my friend came over from London, so we chilled out a little bit. I had a show yesterday. Santa Claus is making a return because if people remembered at the start of Christmas, there was a certain team top of the table, yeah, 8 points ahead, and now well, it's looking like they ain't got no trophies in it. So I was like, you know what, yeah, Christmas I come early. I thought I came prepared. I got my Arsenal bottle right here. You get me because they got bottle jobs as well. So I'm happy. I'm happy, man. For me, it was a different weekend. It was a different weekend. I enjoyed myself, and I'm ready to crack on the show. And Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Merry Bottomus. I'm here, ready to go, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Big Steve's in the
Look
room.
at Big Steve in the comments, man. Look at Big Steve in the comments.
This
Flip
guy, man.
it
Go enjoy
out.
your celebrations, man. You don't have to worry about Man
Yo.
City. Before you don't care about us, man. Let's enjoy your day, enjoy your parade. And like I said, man, I've not got nothing to say in it, man. Enjoy it, and that's all we can do. We just got to look at ourselves, man. That's all we
That's
can
it.
do right now. But big up to
Literally.
everybody who's here. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to everyone's channels as well. Brian, Aaron's channel, Nuruddin United Real Therapy. But we have to talk about the situation with the not Nice.
Yep.
Jim Ratcliffe crisis over there, man. Apparently he can take over Man United, but apparently it's not all well over there. Aaron, I want you to translate this interview quickly, and then we'll
Okay,
get into
go
the
on.
transcript as we kind of go on. But yeah, if you
All
can
right, play it.
translate as you go along.
Disons que on parle moins par rapport à nos objectifs et nous, en construisant quelque chose, un environnement des compétiteurs au sens du club. Première chose. Parce que l'attente, elle est encore plus grande. Et quand tu attends de certaines choses, les gens ils sont frustrés quand même. Donc après, ça ne récompense pas ton travail. Donc, je pense que la meilleure chose à faire, c'est ça. D'accord? Et après, les gars, il faut qu'on fasse une équipe assez forte au plus vite possible pour bien démarrer la saison. Bien démarrer la saison. Cette saison, on le sait très bien, le dernier jour du mercato, il y a 6-7 jours qui partent, il y a 6 qui arrivent. C'est compliqué. C'est compliqué. Il ne faut simplement pas faire les mêmes erreurs.
Oui, justement, tu as cette crainte que les erreurs du passé ne servent pas de leçon, toi?
Après, moi,
Parce qu'on a le sentiment qu'on est en mai et il y a quand même encore énormément d'incertitudes.
Je reste un jour
Ouais.
un employeur du club. Il y a des gens qui sont là bien placés pour ça. Mais si quelqu'un il veut mon avis, plutôt on organise les choses, mieux c'est. Parce que l'année prochaine, il n'y aura que 34 matchs. C'est-à-dire que les 4 premiers matchs, c'est très important. Après, moi, je leur laisse travailler parce que mon travail, déjà, je dois constamment travailler pour toujours mieux faire. Donc, si on veut arriver quelque part, il faut s'organiser, il faut anticiper les choses, il faut créer, il faut mettre les valeurs en place, l'organisation en place pour créer vraiment cet environnement de compétition.
The reason why I wanted to show the video, people, is I wanted to see the kind of body language. Some people, they want to just see kind of, the actual written words, but I wanted to actually know his body language. And he looks frustrated, but Aaron, talk to us, man. What did he actually say? Obviously, I know Brian knows French as well, but Aaron,
Yeah.
what did he say, man? What was his frustrations about Nice at the minute?
Yeah, so what he's saying basically is that at the level, at board level, things are not being done properly. He mentioned, deadline day of 2022. He said that there were 6-7 players going out on the last day of the transfer window and 6-7 players coming in. Now, that is disruptive, whether people like it or not. 6-7 players leaving and 6-7 players coming in the same day or in the space of 24 to 48 hours, and then having to put together a plan that's going to last for the whole season with those 6-7 players, and maybe 2 or 3 of those 6 and 7 you might not even want as a manager. And let's not forget, at the start of the season, they had a completely different manager. So those 6-7 players by the middle of the season might not be the next manager's cup of tea. So Dante talks about there has to be an environment created for professionals to be professionals. And that starts from board level. If you create a professional environment, the players are going to respond in a professional manner. And I can see in the comments there people making very good, fair points, because this is Dante who won the treble with Bayern Munich. He spent years at Bayern Munich. So if there's anyone in that squad that knows how a club should be run, it's him. He's seen the likes of Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, Uli Hoeneß, Oliver Kahn at the beginning of his stint, legends of the club being at the club and being involved and doing things the right way. And all of a sudden he's at Nice now, where the club is being run by Jim Ratcliffe, who's barely he's putting pennies into the club, but the wrong players, the wrong profiles, no sporting director, chopping and changing managers. So Dante, the journalist tried to put words into his mouth, but Dante was like, listen, I'm not trying to say too much, because at the end of the day, I am a player of this club, but you need to create a professional environment to allow everybody to be professional.
Yeah. He says here, there's a comment here at the end. He says, he goes, to be more concrete, how many players have been consistent this season? The response is simple. A competitive team has 12, 13, 14 players at the top level. Obviously, Man United, it's going to be different. Big up to Matt Ross, the transfer market on OG Nice, 27-man squad since January 2022. 16 are loanees or free transfers, 59% of the squad. They also spent 84 million, only 40.4 million, so minus 39.6 million.
You see how mad that is, Saeed? So at the end of the season, on paper, they're going to be left with 11 players on paper.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know they're gonna fill up the squad again, but bro, you need the players to come in as soon as possible, because you got preseason, you got training camp, you got all these media duties, pictures, and this and that, and promotions, and here and there. 11 players.
Yep, it's mad.
And a lot of these players in the Nice squad right now are not really for the future. Like this comment here, shout out to AJ. Ross Barkley, he's not really one for the future.
No, he's 30, nearly 30 now.
Do you see what I mean? Dante, he's in his mid-30s now. He's not going to get.
I mean, he's late 30s, man.
Late 30s. There you go. He's late 30s. Kasper Schmeichel, he's not getting older, and he's not.
He's been dropped. Been dropped, you know.
He's been, because he's not at the level at Nice.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, even towards the end of his stint at Leicester, he wasn't really at his best.
No, he wasn't great. Yeah, he wasn't great. No.
There you go. Dante's 39. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's mad.
They bought, like I said, they bought Pepe back when they, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's a bit of a mad one as well. I mean, Nuruddin, let me go to you next, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is a guy who apparently gets Man United. Apparently, he's going to put the Manchester back into Manchester United. Apparently, you know, when I said to fans, I said, listen, man, I don't think he's the right fit for Man United. We need serious people here. I spoke to a Nice fan, and he was shocked as to why he's actually going to Man United. It says, right now we've got problems here, and he hasn't been solving the problems. So he's kind of shocked that he's going to a bigger kind of club, and I don't think he's able to do it. I mean, if he can't sort out a house here, I mean, what can he do for Man United? It's laughable, man. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, Nuruddin, man. That's the way I kind of look at it.
I swear, I'm not gonna lie to you. We are the Netflix specials of Netflix specials.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you. We're just pure comedy drama. That's who we are as a football club. What can you say about this guy? Shout out Dante, by the way, for coming out and saying it. Is he the club captain?
Club captain, man.
He is, yeah. I think he is.
Yeah. So if the club captain's coming out, then that means the frustration from all of the rest of the players who are feeling what's happening. So shout out Dante for coming out and saying what he said. Listen, we spoke to these guys. We know a lot of, you know, I know people. I got brethren in France. Everybody knows. This is no secret. There's no secret of the fact that this is happening. But then you've got the Ratcliffe stands on Twitter saying Malaga was owned by Qataris. and Malaga went bankrupt, and now they're getting relegated. And then the
Oh,
guy actually from Malaga had to come out and say, no, this guy was an individual guy who owned us, and he stopped investing like 2012. I think that's when he
Yeah.
stopped investing, right? So at the end of the day, this is what we're at. This is the desperation. On the weekend where Man City win the league, Dante comes out and says,
yeah.
there's no go. And now you're telling me 11 players. 11 players. Like, so, and it's so funny. So he spent, if you go to that comment there, that super chat, 39 million, I think they spent. 39 million.
39
Like,
million, yeah.
You know what? To be fair, that's at least it might be a bit better than the Glazers because we only do free transfers these days at Man United. We don't.
Well, they're going to do free transfers. How many transfers did he say like there? That how many are free? That's a joke, man. Free transfers, 16 are loanees or free transfers. It's an absolute joke, man. But again, it comes back to the question of accountability in it for his club. Is he going to have that same level of accountability at Man United when the pressure is even more heightened? You think that club is big? Look when you come into Man United, every single move is scrutinized.
Listen, to me, I'm not gonna think we're cursed. If Jim Ratcliffe and Glazers and Avram and Joel stay with Ratcliffe take over Manchester United, we are cursed. You know what we're going to be? We're gonna be one of those teams that had something back in the day. We're just gonna be like another Nottingham Forest, another Ipswich Town, and those type of clubs that were big. Like Leeds were big in the 70s. They're winning league titles there and there. We're gonna be one of those clubs.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying to you guys, United fans, we're gonna be a big club on paper, but small team and an irrelevant football club. Because at the end of the day, I look at it, I think there ain't nobody else that's gonna stop Man City. And we're talking about a guy who's and you know what that Jim Ratcliffe stands will say to you? No, that's Ineos. It's not Jim. It's Ineos that own Nice. That's the arguments I've been getting. The arguments I'm getting on social media is, well, it's not Jim Ratcliffe. It's Ineos. So who the hell is going to buy Manchester United then? Ineos, isn't it Ineos? Can you separate Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos? Or are they
No, but it's when it suits them, though, isn't it? It's when it suits their agenda. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Big up Onyeka says somehow FA will see this and try to approve the sale if the Glazers choose the rat. Big up to you, Brian. What's your opinion on all of this and what Dante said? And just in general, man, what's your opinion?
I always find it worrying when a player or when a manager from a current club comes out and is going against the board because they're getting paid by those same persons. So for me, that's always a worrying factor. I just want to touch upon what Nuruddin said at the back end of his speech, is that you already felt Man United a little bit dropping throughout the years because we can't invest into like proper players that we want to get from the start. We always get this marquee signing. Like we had a Pogba, we had Falcao, even though he was alone. We always had a marquee signing, but you felt that the squad was diminishing every year. And someone in the chat said the same thing. Like the reason that we always keep our players for longer than they have to is that we can't get someone that is either a step up or that actually wants to come to a club. So that for me is always a worrying sign. And then if you see the last few weeks is getting more and more intense. But it's a good thing that this happened this weekend, because then people are actually like getting to know about Jim Ratcliffe. Because a lot of people don't really know about him. Even myself, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really know a lot about him. But I'm seeing more reports about him. I'm seeing more reports about Nice, about how the club is run. So for me, it's a good thing that Dante came out. It's also a more like truthful sign because he's like you said, he's club captain. He's being paid by the club. And yeah, just for in the future, it's just a bit mad. It's just a bit it's scary that our future as a club depends on this sale. And that's because years ago we sold the club to the Glazers and it just hasn't been run properly. And you've seen it throughout the years and you've seen the signs. And even now this year we get top 4 Champions League, we get a trophy. If we win the FA Cup, that's fine. But that's still papering over the cracks that everything else besides just the footballing stats, besides the footballing pieces, the stadium, the team itself, is just not good enough. The structure's not good enough. Footballing director is not good enough. So I'm really scared for Man United, man. I'm actually really scared, and I hope that if let's say we win the FA Cup final, I hope that doesn't deflect from everything that's going on right now.
Facts, 100%, man. Big up Killis. He says here, former French player Emmanuel Petit on Unias ownership of Nice. Who's making the decision? Mr. Ratcliffe, Mr. Blanc, Mr. Riviere. The direction of that Ineos and OG Nice want to make, I have no idea. And this is Aaron, what he was mentioning, it. The Dante said, "Yo, listen, we need to have a plan. What are we doing this summer?" And I feel sorry for Nice fans because they're getting sold a dream. You know what I mean? As to what they're doing as well, man. Like them man are trying to, do something next season and they can't because they don't know what's going on with their club. So for them, it's not fair. For United, obviously, right now we don't know what's going on as well. So it must be confusion for them, bro. Like 100%. And that he's left that club in that state.
It must be frustrating, man. And it looks like he wants to leave the club in that state and then come and take over Manchester United and start doing stuff here, but. If the track record shows that you can't handle Nice, what makes people think that he's going to be able to handle Manchester United, which is a significantly bigger club?
But the same thing is, the way he's leaving Nice right now hasn't been a statement that he wants to leave the club. What is going to happen to Man United in a few years? Let's say he gets it and he wants to leave. Like, he's going to do the same thing where we don't know what the squad is looking like. We're staying with 10 players. We don't know what the next owner is going to look like. That's something that, if you look at the whole package, and then you have to look at the Glazers, but we already know they don't care. But if you really care about the club a little bit, and you say like you do, then you can't get someone that is going to, first of all, bring in depth to the club, and then is leaving another club without even communicating what the plans are. It's not even straight that maybe he's like, I want Man United as my main club and Nice as my feeder club or something. He has not even said that. So that for me just stresses me out, because in a few years' time, because them man just want to make money and they're trying to sell Man United again, are we going to be in the same situation as Nice at that point?
Yeah.
So I just don't want it, man. I just want someone that says, we're going to invest money debt free. We're going to try challenge City, because that's right now the that's just how it's looking right now, isn't it? But all it is, I'm taking over halfway. That I don't like that, man. Finish your project, then move on, but don't leave halfway. If you're gonna build a house, make sure everything is built, foundation, roof, calm. You can live there. But if don't just start building halfway and through and say, let me just buy a new hotel because I can't be asked to finish off my house, man. I don't like that.
Matt Ross says here, do you think Glazers are waiting for the end of the season? Listen, they are right now, because at the end of the day, it's one more week, less than a week left till the season finishes, man. But Nuri, I want to ask you a question of the British media. Where are they today, this morning? Because I questioned them today. No Laurie Whitwell, no Samuel Racist Lucas, what you said, no Daily Mail, no Express, no Independent, no one reporting about the situation at least. But all of a sudden, you know what I mean? If it was the Qataris, they'll be on it last night, Nuri. They'll be there, mate. You know what I mean? Neil Ashton will be there.
This is the British media.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what it is. Man are blindfolded, just whistling in the wind. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. And I called out the Athletic boys because I saw an article and people were coming after it going like xenophobic, racism. Listen, not more than any other thing that's been associated with Manchester United. This takeover process has exposed the xenophobic and the racist undertones of the British media. It's clear for everybody to see. And Laurie Whitwell wrote an article, was it last week? He wrote the article where he basically was like, nobody, the new one is, nobody has seen Sheikh Jazim. Nobody knows who he is. The man's got a photo at Old Trafford, in a box at Old Trafford with his brother in a United shirt. So they're saying, how old is he? And somebody else asked on social media, who's this guy? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, it's surreal, it's clear. And I always say that Samuel Racist Lucas, like, everybody's there to see, but nobody ever wants to talk about it because Sir Jim, Radcliffe, is they're on the payroll. They're on the payroll. They're on the payroll, and they've been told by Neil Ashton and everything else not to touch that story. Stay away from that story. And I always want to talk about the greenwashing. Ineos is one of the most pollutant companies, multinational corporations in the world. It pollutes rivers. It fracking looking for gas and oil underneath the earth, that damages communities and towns and cities. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about. So they want to talk about sports washing with Qatar. There's an argument to be had, Saeed. There is. There, you can be objective and go, there are certain things that are going on that's not human rights. But nobody wants to talk about Jim Ratcliffe and the human right record of the workers, what's happening with Nice, what's happening with them fracking, and the environmental damage that they're doing as a corporation.
We painted out Jim Ratcliffe to be this saint, and it's not really. You know what I mean? And that's where, for me, you have to be fair in what you're reporting, and they're not doing that. And this is why, for me, I just don't like this BS PR for Jim Ratcliffe, that he gets it, and he's a saint. Like he's not. You know what I mean? He's not, and that's just the bottom line.
Listen, I explain to people in it at the moment. I don't know those of you who live in the UK, but our services, the NHS, the train, all of the people that work for different aspects of the state are taking a hammering. The cost of living crisis has gone through the roof. Jim Ratcliffe lives in Monaco, so he doesn't pay tax in this country. That just shows you. The guy ran away. So a multimillionaire, billionaire, wants to run away so he doesn't pay any tax. He does not want to pay any tax. So
it's a joke, man.
He's gone to a tax haven. It's the type of person that he is. So all of this about Jim being this, Jim that, it is what it is. Listen, at a certain point, I want to repeat, we use Jim to motivate fans, to educate fans, because he put his head above the parapet, saying that he wants to buy Manchester United. But like we all said, anybody who wants to buy Manchester United, we always said this is the list of categories. Debt.
Well, big up the ice cream, man.
He's got the ice cream. He's got the ice cream, bro.
Yo, he comes by. Yo, big up Mr. Singh, innit?
Yo, Mr. Singh, man. We have Mr. Singh there.
Everyone just went, who got the ice cream? That's funny, man. The media never been fair about. They always pick someone that they like the most because they're gonna benefit the most. It's always been like that throughout the years, and it's gonna stay like that. They're gonna benefit the most about Jim Ratcliffe because he's English, has the status and everything. But if it and like Norwegian says as well, when you're gonna buy a big club like, let's say, Man United, it's gonna expose who you are, your past, whatever you've done, and it's coming out now slowly. Just a bit sad that it's coming out at this point, but at the same time, we as fans need to look at who's the best for our club, but not because of someone's nationality. Because that's what we do a lot right now, is even for players, sometimes we gas up players because they're English and everything. Just be honest, who's the best person for the club right now? And it's not Jim Ratcliffe, because for me, as a fan that doesn't live in England, I just want debt-free. That's the only thing I want, debt-free. And if that is, and if they adding that to the club, then I don't want that.
Yeah.
But we don't just want that. We want debt-free. We want a new infrastructure. We want the manager and a proper footballing structure. I want the best injury and rehab team. I want the best training ground facilities. I want everything. Manchester United being back to where we are, have world-class facilities, world-class staff, to get world-class players to bring us back to where we were competing for the biggest trophies. And I'm sorry to say, but Ratcliffe, the Rat, and Glazer, Avram, and Joe are not doing that. That's not gonna happen. I'm telling you, Manchester United is simple, people. I thought I'll never say it. It's Qatar or bust.
Simple.
Facts.
That's just the bottom line, isn't it? It's Qatar or bust, isn't it? You know what I mean? And that's just the reality we're at right now. You know what I mean? You've got Avram Glazer. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the guy literally went to the women's team, spent 250,000, I think, of the club's money to kind of travel to the women's team. A women's team who he actually decimated in, what was it, 2005, Nuruddin, where he decimated the club. I'll just bring up to you now the actual money that was involved. So Avram Glazer flying into the League Cup final and the Women's Cup final cost Man United 500. So that's 500,000 in expenses. He also expends his trip to Qatar. Yeah, $500,000 basically. Yeah, his trip to Qatar, it was more than $250,000. At a minimum, it's been $750 million spent on Glazer's expenses. In context, that is 35% of the women's team's annual salaries this season. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So Yeah, man, it's a joke thing, man. This I'm saying. Avram Glaze is a joke, man. You know what I mean? And the club just need to move on now. We just kind of need to be serious, man. When you're looking at Man City and when you're looking at what they're doing, you know what I mean? We're light years ahead, man. Let's just be honest, man. And that's just a cold-hearted reality. We're light years ahead, and we need to sort it out, man. All I want to know is that we got an ownership by at least minimum. After the season finishes, bang, we got new owners in, and we know where we're going. You know, that's all I want to know. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to say. You know what? We finish the season, right? New owners are coming, Qataris are coming, and then we're kind of now compliant ahead. Because if you don't, I'll tell you what, man. Like people will be gunning for Ten Hag, but what can you do when he's got tied hand behind his back, man? You can't fix his squad, man. He's not got quality in the squad, man. You need to improve. You've seen the standards that's been seen right now. You have to improve. Jose,
Hey, let me take this super
Go
chat.
on.
He says the Qataris run PSG. They've been success. Yes, you know what I want? I want to win the league.
They have.
I want to win the league. I'm not asked about winning Champions League. If you're every other season, you're going to win the league. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that ride. They win the league.
They
Right?
win, like-
Manchester United have not been in the league title for how long? For how long?
But that's
For a decade.
That's a story that people are making up right now that PSG has failed. Yes, they haven't won the Champions League. That was what they were going out for. But every year, bar maybe like 2 seasons, they won the league and they won the French Cup. So they've been winning for a longer period, and they've been able to attract the best players that we have not been doing to last year. So that's a bit of a stigma about PSG.
They bought Messi.
Yeah, but they're trying. Yeah, they're trying.
They're trying. You know what I mean, bro? Like, I don't understand, man. You know what I mean? But I just feel like for me, yeah, I've not got an agenda. My agenda is to win, my friend. Jose, my agenda is to win. My agenda is to compete. If you're competing, if Jim Ratcliffe came in and he was a single guy, as in like he came on his own, he didn't want to work with the Glazers, he didn't need to leverage what do you call it, some money off JP Morgan and whatnot, and he was going to put us onto debt. If all of them things came in and he was actually willing to do that, no one would give a shit about who Jim Ratcliffe is. You know what I mean? Let's be real.
100% something. If you wanted to buy the football club out, put all the things, no debt, do all of that. Who gives a damn? Like, yeah, Sir Jim, the local lad, taking us back to the top, bringing experts in their field, bringing experts in every field. I look at Man City. I look at Manchester City, man. When are these big injuries happen to their big players? They've got 17, 18 players who are always available, and my guy can rotate. That's why they can go for a treble.
Yeah, rotate. You see it in it, and like I said, Aaron, you know what I mean. We are not there yet. You know what I mean, in terms of what we need to do. Ten Hag's not there yet, but the message this summer, I think this summer is probably the big. I know we always say this, Aaron, in it, but I feel like this summer is the biggest summer to kind of bridge the gap now. I want a title race next season. I don't want a top 4 race. I want to challenge for the league.
It's a very important summer, but I don't think we'll be able to get all of our targets this summer. I think we'll be able to get in.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think we'll maybe get in 2 or 3 tops.
That's poor, man. That's poor, man.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever been the type of club to bring in too many players anyway. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Aaron, I'm not going to lie to you. Aaron, let me say this to you. All due respect to every United fan out here.
Yeah.
Manchester United are going to do something serious next season. We need 5 starting players.
Yes, 5.
Starting 5.
Facts.
5.
That's what we need.
5.
5. So let me say this again. 5 players who go into the starting lineup. So 5 of the players they're going to replace, those 5 go on the bench.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get that as well. And the last thing that Saeed said as well, like, when was the last time anything good was associated with Man United? Every time teams talk about the best stadium, it's not Old Trafford anymore. Every time you talk about the best training grounds, it's not Man United anymore. It's always other clubs, and that's something that we need to catch up to as well. And then with the transfer window thing, like you said, is a very important summer, because I feel, and even if you just look out, Ten Hag is very motivated. He's got high ambitions. If he this summer comes and says, "Yo, I want these 5 players," and he gets 5 bullshit players that he didn't want and that were not his first choice, I know for a fact this year after that he's leaving, because he's someone that wants to build. He wants to progress, and if he's not backed this summer, then it's gonna be a short story between us and Ten Hag, and he's been the best manager we've had throughout the last few years. So that's for me, the most important thing is keep Ten Hag, keep him happy, get the players that he wants. Don't give him bullshit players that are fifth on his list. Don't get him players like, with all due respect, Ericsson, I like him. I like what he's done this season, but
Gotta
the
move
fact
on,
that
man.
the fact that
Bench.
a free player, no, but the fact that a free player, he came in on the free transfer, didn't play since the Euros, comes in and has to be a starter every week because we can't get a better midfielder. That is very worrying. And even for Ten Hag, and he can say that Ericsson has done a magnificent season. We're not gonna deny that. But the fact that he has to go through that midfield, the fact that he has to bring on Fred for the last 5 minutes for the last few games, just tells you where he thinks his squad is at. And if you look at, like you said, Man City, they don't have to do that. They do not have to do that. The fact that Laporte is not even playing a lot, and he walks in our starting 11, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think he might walk this summer. I think if he's not back properly,
Nah.
and they're messing about with a takeover.
You think so,
I think
already?
he'll try another season. I think he'll try another season, but just because out of principle in it, I think he's someone that once he starts something, he's going to finish it.
Yeah, he's
But
gonna finish it. That's what I
if
think.
he's not being back this summer, but we change ownership, I think he'll wait out another year. But if it's not being backed this summer and we change ownership and it's shit, he's out. He's leaving. He's gone.
Yeah, 100%. It's facts. I mean, you can't as well. You can't back him half-hearted, man. Especially when you look at what we need right now this summer, and just to even bridge the gap, so then you're actually competing. And that's not even knowing that we're going to win the league. That's not a confidence of winning the league. That's just competing. Champions League, like, I think the Champions League is amazing. But do I think the quality is lacked in this year's competition? I think there is. I think there's a room for Man United to, if they were serious, they could. If they were, you see with Ten Hag, what did Ten Hag do with the Ajax team? Was the Ajax team the most expensive squad in the world?
No.
And where did he get them? Where did he get them through? Can anyone explain where he got them to? He got
Semis.
to a semi-final with the Ajax team. So if you mold a squad for Eric Ten Hag, he's shown it. He's beaten. Who did he beat in that? Real Madrid, Juventus. Bro, he beat some top teams, people, man. Like we're looking at Ten Hag as if he's a nobody. With the right team and with the right balance in his team, he can actually do something, But again, you have to back him now, and that's the situation we're dealing with now. We haven't got that in our team. It's as simple as that.
Nah, man.
It's simple as that.
It's just very worrying. It's very worrying for.
Listen,
Man
I'll
United.
say this is simple, guys. Listen, he's got a 3-year contract, right? Next season will be his second season, obviously. By the third season, if he's not competing, he's gonna leave. And by the way, keep an eye on Barcelona, Joe. Keep an eye on the Barcelona.
That's because that's the end game for him as well, innit? Because he's an Ajax man,
Ajax
Dutch
man, yeah.
Cruyff, Barcelona. So that's always the end game. And I think that if he has a proper project, and because he knows what Man United is, he was gonna stay. But just like players that we got before that were promised better players, better signings, and they didn't get them, they had to leave eventually as well. Same thing with Pogba. He even said, I stayed a long time because I was promised better players and never happened.
Yeah.
And same thing with Ten Hag. And you saw it even last year when he came in and he said he didn't really want to work with Ratcliffe as his DOF because he wants to do stuff his way, and he wants to attain certain standards, and he wants to just improve. Like even Wan-Bissaka, for example, he didn't even play half of the season because he didn't think it was good enough. And then when he was up to the level, he showed that, and then he played. So that's the same thing with investment. If investment is not there, then my guy can't do anything because he can't build with players that are here right now. He's done a great job with what we have right now. But let's be honest, like Nuruddin said, we need 5 players. Maybe I would say maybe 3 to 4, but we need 5 players that come in and say, "Yo, I want to start," and the ones that we have need to move on. And even them ones we need to move them on in the future as well. So. Yeah, it's just mad. It's just frustrating because it's been like that, and someone said that in the chat as well, and I think that's a good statement as well. Ten Hag hasn't had a period where he could just chill. Like Pep came in, he knew KDB was there, everything was calm. This year he had to handle Ronaldo, the move with the move of the stadium, the new owners. He hasn't had one period where he could just say, "Let me just relax now. Focus on my team and let's and think about what we're gonna do for the next season." He needs to think about everything at the same time.
Yeah, especially with the Ronaldo situation as well. That happened in the middle of everything. It's not been easy for him, man.
Dropping the club captain.
Same.
Yeah. Maguire. Yeah.
Ah.
All the mess that's left behind, all the dead quality that's left behind. A team that's always injured as well, you know, in terms of the rehabilitation. We don't do well in terms of rehabilitation. The Sancho situation, people forget about the Sancho situation, man. Him going
Bro,
away for 3 months. Obviously,
Start
we
of,
still
the,
don't know.
start of the season, Ronaldo wasn't there preseason. We lose 2 games. He's already getting interviewed. He hasn't had any period of him just pure coaching. He has to always had to deal with bullshit or ask or answer to questions or interviews. And this is where a club needs to protect your manager. You have someone I think that's a gem, that's a diamond. Make sure that's protected. If you're leaving a diamond on the street, it's gonna get stolen. You need to put that in a good
Yeah.
safe.
Well, what Man United, I don't know if they're a diamond or if I don't know what we are, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what we are in terms of thinking.
We're
You know what I'm
something in
saying?
it. We're something
Listen,
tangible. But with the
listen.
right nurturing, you can do it.
We've got an amazing history, amazing traditions. We're a huge football club, but we're run by gangs, mobsters, innit? Mobsters, innit? People who don't give effing damn. The guy spent nearly $750 million and putting it, you know what? He's got money, yeah? And my guy's putting it on the club.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it shows, innit? We're run by mobsters. And at the end of the day, for me, when I look at Manchester United, I don't think we've ever been in a position in our history as pivotal as this. I think if this could go south, and that's why I'm saying super wealth, because of the position the Glazers are put on it. Aaron, honestly, you see it. Let me just list these players, yeah? Actually, all of you.
Yeah,
so
go
let
on.
me list these players. Martial, gone. Ilanga, gone. Workhorse, gone. Sabitzer, Tara. McTominay, Fred, Van der Beek. Not that you're a bad player, but at the end of it, it's not worked out for you. Maguire, Brandon Williams, Dean Henderson, Tellers, Bailly.
Jones.
Well, Jones has already got off it. Jones has already got off.
What they here now?
Yeah, even
I think he's going to keep De Gea because I can't lie to you. I think he's keeping De Gea more so because he knows that he might not get a keeper next season.
I think so as
I'm
well.
telling you, man.
I think so as well.
I'm telling you, my guys.
Aaron,
I agree with that though, but
it's true though. It's a reality,
he has to, bro. He has to. Like you're not gonna splash bare money on a goalkeeper when you need a midfielder more.
Yeah,
you need a
I think we
midfielder
need
more.
2 midfielders. But Aaron, I wanted to ask you: any of those players that I named, do you have any problem with any of them leaving the football club?
No. Thank you for your services. Good luck for the future.
Now, one's emotional still.
One's
a bit emotional.
There's question marks. Listen, I don't want to say it, but there's also question marks. We gave Palestri a new deal, but he's not going to play games for some reason. I don't know what the manager's doing. I think that will be to sell in the next few. I bet you any money we end up selling Palestri maybe the next season or 2. Right now, obviously, they've sold him just to kind of get his price up. You got the Sancho situation, which I think is a 50-50. Fans are saying sell him, fans are saying keep him. That as well. So that's 2 players on the forward line. Sancho.
Okay, Sancho, yeah.
So you got Martial again, like you said to there. So if you look at the squad, you've got Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad,
Rashi,
Anthony, Rashford, Lindelof.
Lindelof,
you know what?
Lindelof's gonna go.
Lindelof will stay. He might say, you know what, F you lot, man. I'm going to play for a better club, man.
I think he's going to go as well.
If there's an offer that comes in for Lindelof and he sees, you know what, I'm not going to get no game time, he's going to want to leave as well. I think this will be the summer where he says, you know what, I want to leave now for first year opportunities. Then you've got Varane, who again, like I said to you, is not reliable in terms of injuries. Wan-Bissaka today, I'm hearing today, Wan-Bissaka is that the club are open to selling Wan-Bissaka if they receive an important bid. That's another player there that potentially could go. You know, so it's one of them, man. I don't know, man.
I put money on it. I put money on it, man. This is a Manchester United thing to do. Keep Maguire, keep Brandon Williams,
and sell Lindelof.
Lindelof and sell
Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. That's the Man United thing. That's true. That's the
United thing, man.
That's true.
That's the Glazer thing.
This one here's a good comment. Gillis said, "How do you sell 10 players in one transfer? They're not going to happen. They try sell 5, take the money and bring 2 for
we can't sell more than we bring in. That's main. We can't sell more than we bring in. So that means if we're selling 2 players, that means 2 players are coming in. Or like the max that we can do is sell 2 players and buy 1, but we can't do more than that. Because if you look at our squad right now and how everyone has been injured this season, if you sell 5 players and buy 2, season is done. We can already say we're gonna go for 1 league at the start of the season. That's it. We can't sell more than we have already. We can't.
That's crazy.
Even though that's what we want, we can't. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
It's mad, you know, when you think about like what needs to go. Like, and this is neglect from not being ruthless. You see how Guardiola's just ruthless and says, you know what, you don't
Cancelo,
play.
buy.
Cancelo gone in January. That's the problem with our
It's
football.
not even that. Listen, it's not even that. It's
But
the
it
thing
is, though.
about- Listen, it's the Glazeonomics.
Yeah, that's
Manchester
what I'm saying.
United buy
That
a
ties into
player.
it.
Yeah. So Manchester United buy a player, and it's all because of the spreadsheet. That's why they only let players go when their contract run out. Because unless it messes up their accounting. So we're not run like a football club. We're run on a spreadsheet in New York on accounting instruments. That's what we're run. That's what Manchester United. They're not run like a football club.
Yeah.
Where look up how many players Pep Guardiola. See you later. Bye. Man, even Liverpool. Bye. See you later.
Today, like this season, like Keita, yeah, for United. How long do you reckon he would have stayed at United, Keita?
For a decade, mate. A decade and a half. Like Phil Jones, seriously. Phil Jones, first of all, I'll ask Aaron and I'll ask Brian. If Phil Jones was a foreign player, would he have had 12 years at Manchester United only playing 200 games?
Nah.
No comfortable conversations, man.
Out of the door.
Yeah, I
Year
mean,
one.
man. Let's
Because
be
you know
real,
why?
man.
Do you know why? The media will be reminding you every day that the guy's getting paid 100-something thousand doesn't even train. And you notice he was so laughed in the press conference. Ten Hag laughed. Ten Hag was like, "Oh, I only had it for 20 minutes in the first training session for 20 minutes."
I see that. He didn't really need to say that, but he said it for a reason. He said it for a reason. I only had 20 minutes for him in training session. But that's sentiment, isn't it? It's sentiment, like I said, Glazeonomics, Nordin. You know what I mean? But I think ultimately it comes down to the director of football, man. I'm having arguments with Danny, and he's talking about John Murtough, this and that, and he's trying to say about Ragnick, because Ragnick came out and exposed everyone, but it was what we needed. And then obviously, who took them out was John Murtough. Said, you know what, I don't really believe in what you do, and you're talking too much, and he kicked him out, man. Let's be real. I don't think Ten Hag kicked him out. It was John Murtough, man, because he showed him up. He showed him up how to be a proper director of football. You know what I mean? A director of football that actually speaks. When does this guy John Murtough ever speak as well to anyone or just in general? Like, it's just so everything is like closed off. It's mad. So Jim in. Sorry.
Jim in. I'm out. Not killing myself with jealousy.
Stress. Good luck watching you lot rant in, week out.
Oh,
listen,
okay,
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Listen, it is what it is. It depends on what you want. But for me, Sir Jim, mate, we'll be having this conversation, mate, in next year, mate. Everyone just losing their heads because Sir Jim's moving mad and he can't run the football club properly. We had that with the Glazers. Oh, yeah, that's it, yeah.
18 years of it was suffered. And now I'm going to get another rat who's going to keep the Glazers in. Nah, mate. I'm telling you, nah, mate. Honestly. Yeah. I might have to be careful with my mental health, man. Honestly. There's aspects of it.
You know what?
Detach ourselves.
What?
If that happens, I think we need to detach ourselves from.
No, but you know what? It's a reality, innit?
Emotional.
You know what? Big up to Double A yesterday, man, and Andy Tate. They were on the topic yesterday, and they were talking about it. Like, you know what, man? It's like, what hope have you got of Man United competing when Man City down the road are doing everything perfect? It's not okay. We can talk about the books, and we can talk about the corrupt situation that's going on. We'll only find that out when it's obviously what all said and done and it's found out. But right now, you can only go by what's happening right now, and that's 5 out of 6, Premier Leagues. That's crazy for them. I'm going on to a treble, and you know what? People can say there's going to be a drop off. Yeah, there might be a drop off on the Pep Guardiola, but you know what? I'll be honest with you,
bro. This season was the drop off. That's the whole thing. When they were behind Arsenal, everyone thought this season was a drop off, and now they're playing Champions League final and they're winning the league by maybe 10 points. That's.
Hold tight, Gary Neville, by the way. Gary Neville predicted it.
Gary Neville told everyone.
But that's a massive problem. This season, we all thought the Haaland thing is not going to work out. Yes, he's scoring goals, but it's looking different. We all thought it's not going to work out. He sold Sterling. He scored all of his speeds players and that, and then he just came back Champions League final now, and he's smacking everyone in the league. So. Yeah. Even if there's a drop off, our only hope is that they sack Pep and they do a David Moyes thing and just get a whack manager. But even then, their quality and their identity or style of play of football is already set, that they can
It's already
swap
set.
managers. They can swap managers for the next 10 years. They'll be fine. They know.
You
They
know what
already
it is,
know
though?
companies gonna come in and try to do the same thing. With us, Ten Hag goes, we're gonna get a defensive manager like Simeone come in and play 4-4-2 again. Like,
But you know what it is though? We kind of missed a trick on the Van Gaal, yeah. We had the first manager who came in and identified a structure from the youth academy all the way to the first team.
yeah,
That's what Guardiola's doing now with Man City. He's enabling the first team to play exactly the way that the under 18s, under 12s play. They're all playing in one kind of style and one way, one philosophy. And
To be fair,
obviously,
but
Ten Hag wants to
Hag's
get to
doing
that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ten Hag is going to get to that, but again, that will take time. And it's fans. Obviously, you then need the board and the ownership to have correct scouting, so that you do find these little gems from across Europe, from South America, and you bring them in from that when they're like 6, 7. You bring them in. You say, right here, you're going to be training with us for the next 10 years, and there's going to be a view to go into the first team. Rico Lewis is part of that as well. Rico Lewis, look at him in the first team. He's playing like that. How does he transition into playing in a way that Guardiola wants at the age of 17?
everyone is comfortable.
How's that possible? That's down to the philosophy of Guardiola, from right down to the bottom, from right down to where, the under 12s. That's what it is.
Listen, me and Saeed know people who coach at Man City, innit? We know what they do.
Yeah.
They play the same patterns, roll it out from the keeper, keep the ball, keep possession. Possession is king. Overload the midfield. They do exactly the same thing. What's the first team doing?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it last year. I went to
everybody to be so comfortable in the football.
I've seen it last year because the KDB Cup is in Belgium, innit? And obviously every year they send a City team out, like under 15s, under 16s, and the way they just pop the ball, they don't always win, but it's not about winning. In youth, it's not always about winning; it's about developing players. But even then, they just it's everything is just set up nicely. But that's more of a Belgium structure, Dutch structure, where once the first team plays a certain formation, everyone just follows that. And we're lucky that we have Ten Hag that is a type of coach like that. Even and what you said about Louis van Gaal, maybe he's someone that when he left the club, maybe should have went as a DOF because he knows what type of style.
And Mourinho would never allow that. Mourinho would never allow it.
Now, obviously, we get Mourinho afterwards, but I'm like, if you get obviously Van Gaal, you get another manager that's going to suit his playing style more. But what I'm saying is that even though the style of play was boring at the start, he was one of the only managers that came in and actually said, "This is how we're gonna play. Don't care what you do." That's why people like Tyler Black and Paddy McNair were playing, because they were doing the things that Van Gaal liked at that time. So
Fosse Mensah,
yeah, lovely as well.
Yeah, he was amazing. I'm gonna ask you a question, Aaron. Yeah, in terms of Ten Hag, yeah, say we get new owners in here, does he then ask for a director of football of his choice to work with? But the thing is, though, I ain't gonna lie to him. I don't know if you've seen about Van der Sar, man. They don't like him at Ajax now. He's not done well this season at Ajax.
You're running him out.
They were actually booing him at the game on the weekend. They were booing him. So I don't know if Overmars is going to be available. I don't know who, but who would you?
Overmars ain't doing anything. Overmars be kicked out.
Even if he was available, bro, I don't think that's a good idea.
He's at Antwerp, isn't it?
Who do you reckon he should do? What should be his plan when the new owners come in? Should he ask for? You see it with the German model with Bayern Munich. The Oliver Kahns and what should he do?
Well, the stats and the record shows that he's done his best work with Edwin van der Sar. So if we can manage to convince him to come to Man United, then why not? Why not? And obviously now the situation at Ajax with the fans booing him and stuff,
fickle though.
It might be beneficial for us, but then again, you have to sit down at the table and really negotiate a proper deal. He has to understand what type of football we want to play. Ten Hag has to understand what Van der Sar wants in a manager. How do they want the chemistry to work, as they haven't worked together for years now? So, yes, it's going to be all about, coming together and sitting down at the table. But I would say it's either him. I'm a big fan of the guy who used to be at Stuttgart. What's his name? Sven Mislintat. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, Mislintat, yeah.
He's very good at finding like gems that we know today as superstars. And obviously Rangnick as well. I would have liked him to stay, but Hey, it is what
He's
it
got
is.
bad. He's got bad blood now, man. It's too much. Like the club have disrespected him, man. He will come out in how long is it when you have an NDA, Nuruddin? How long is it? Is it 2 years or something before you can't speak?
It
You're on mute.
depends.
You're on mute.
I mean, listen, it depends. It depends on certain
Ollie
people.
spoke.
Yeah, Ollie was 18 months.
18 months. So
Yeah, 2
when did
years
Ragnick
usually, yeah.
leave? When did he leave Ragnick?
Well,
Was
last
it
year,
left,
end of the season, innit? So,
End of the season, yeah. End of the season.
yeah.
so? So let's say May, June. So obviously it's been a year. So let's see. Maybe December time we might hear from Ralph Ragnick, and we might
Yeah, for
see.
sure.
But I'm ready for that. I'm ready, and he best go all in, man.
Bro,
I'm
man's
telling
gonna
you
do
now. I
it.
want you to start
If he's gonna,
absolutely destroying, man.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why he wasn't, because. But I think around January, Murta stopped speaking to him. It was Murta and him that fell out.
Yeah. He ruined the relationship.
It was Murta and him that fell out. Yeah, Murta stopped. So I've done a show on my channel, United Real Therapy.
Yeah. I remember.
Where I broke it down, it was Murta that fell out with him because Rav Ranick was telling the truth about some of the players, and obviously they treated him like a substitute teacher. They weren't listening to him.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, you don't listen to substitute teachers; you disrespect them. And the club did not back him up. He didn't get the backup from the club, the owners, and John Murta to say, "Hey, guys, you got to respect the manager. You got to no." It was the opposite, and that's why he came out and said everything he needed to say. And as ever, the only reason that's why I say that Manchester United, that's why they only employ and promote from within, because they don't like outsiders. Why? Outsiders come in and have a look at it and go, "This is a shit show.
This is bad.
This is bad."
This is
And then
bad.
they don't want to hear the truth. We're at a football club where nobody wants to hear the truth. The owners don't care, do not care. But the Jim the Ratcliffe wants to keep them in. And now what he's doing in Nice. And you know what? He even paid Schmeichel. Like Schmeichel was on, if I'm not mistaken, Monday Night Football talking about, oh yeah. I'm like, you call yourself a United fan as well? Like, you call yourself a United fan?
Nah, man, get out.
Are you kidding me? What are you talking about?
You know what? Let me ask you a question. Yeah, I think for me, we talk about ownership a lot, but I think for me, I don't know if the Qataris will know a lot about, like they'll know about recruitment and whatnot. But I think the biggest kind of signing will be recruitment team. If I look at Brighton and what they're doing right now in terms of their recruitment team, I look at how people are doing things properly. Soriano, the sheikhs at Man City. Yes, they provided money, but they also got two of the best sporting directors at Barcelona and Brian, and they brought him over here. So it's not only just about signing players. You've got to go and get the best sporting director, the best director of football, people who know it properly, and get them in to say, you know what, this is our plan, this is our model, and we're going to get players from South America, scout them early. We're going to get the players in. Now, you're not even going to know about Enciso until he comes in and boom, all of a sudden, it's the next big thing. This is the biggest, for me, it's going to be the biggest signing for us, even when you look at the money as well.
Nah, 100%. I think Brian is a perfect example. They bring in players throughout the year, and you ask yourself, where did they come from? Mitoma comes from the Japanese league, plays a year in Belgium, and now he's doing a mad thing. You got Enciso, all of these players, Buonanotte, they come in and they add something. And I'm not saying that we always have to get the unpolished talent from somewhere, because it's easier for Brighton to do that because they have time to develop players, and for Man United, you want to win trophies. But it's nice to see sometimes a certain player comes in. We don't know about him, and he lights up Man United, lights up Old Trafford.
Yeah,
that's what City done well at the start. Is they got the players that fit into the playing style of Pep. Pep came in and said, "Look, I don't like the fullbacks. Just give me another 3 or 4 fullbacks." He got that, and then went on. And as the most important thing is the structure needs to be there first. I think with Ten Hag, you got someone that likes structure, likes working into structure. I'm not really keen on this Van der Sar thing, because Van der Sar did a great job at Ajax. I'm not going to deny it, but I don't want to be someone that's going to acquiesce to only Ten Hag. I want someone that comes in.
Facts.
Man United needs to play this type of football. We're going to do that, and we're going to get to people that can work with Ten Hag, because that's important as well. That can work with him, but that also are in a position where they might disagree, because disagreement sometimes is not always bad. It's good that you have this type of discourse between two players, between two persons, so that you can see how can we elevate this club into another level. Dumb example, and I'm going to move on. Pep, De Bruyne, last week Champions League, they had a little discussion throughout the game. That's what you need sometimes. People that have discourse in between each other, so that you can elevate the club to the next level. So I want someone that comes in, knows Man United, not really knows Man United, but knows what he needs to do in football, where we're going, what do we need, and how we're going to achieve that. That's always the most important thing. And then make sure that everything just comes together, and then let's just roll on in it.
100%. I think what Brian said is, listen, I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're from the south or your name is Timmy from Timbuktu. If you're Timmy from Timbuktu, I don't care where you're from. What matters to me is that, are you an expert in your field? Do you understand the landscape of football? Do you understand? And I'll give a quick example. At Liverpool, there was a transfer committee. Jurgen Klopp wanted Julian Brandt, if I'm not mistaken. He wanted Julian Brandt. Am I right, Aaron? He wanted Julian Brandt.
You
did,
yeah. And then they said, Mo Salah. So they did that. They used that system in it, that analytics system, and said Mo Salah, his ratio when he picks up the ball in certain places and his directness to goal in this system might be able to get us to be a goal scorer. At the end of the day, you don't just have the manager, you have a committee where 4 or 5 people agree and have votes on these certain things, like they did at Liverpool. Liverpool are going to go again. We're going to talk about it, United Real Therapy. What teams can stop Man City dominating for the next decade? We're going to talk about it. Liverpool, they've just, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron, they've got signed McAllister, but they're getting the director of football from Wolfsburg. If I'm not mistaken.
They're getting the ex-Wolfsburg and ex-Hannover sporting director Schmadtke, who's
There you go.
Yeah, listen, sorry about that. But yeah, man, I think for me, ultimately, I don't know, man. People know I'm on a show, man, but it's still calling it, man. It's one of them, man. But people, we're gonna wrap up here.
That was Jim Ratcliffe. That was Jim Ratcliffe.
Man,
actually, you know what? It's not. It was Neil Ashton. How much do you want to be quiet?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. These guys, I'm telling you now, man. They're looking at these kind of channels, man. I'm telling you, they're saying, "Yo, who's spreading bad propaganda against Jim Ratcliffe, man?" And they'll find a way to cancel you, man. So lison, I'm on my guard, mate. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for, man.
A little 5 million, then we can talk. A little 5 million, we can talk.
Nah, I won't be bought out. I won't be bought out. Listen, man, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. It's still over 700 of us in the chat, man. Please like the video. Apparently, we're not even hit 300 likes. I don't know, man. You might have moving like the Glazes, but
stingy, mate. Stingy.
Jim Ratcliffe supporters, because they're not liking the video, so that means you supported Jim Ratcliffe. You know what I mean? Because you're not. This is not good Jim Ratcliffe propaganda. We're opposite. We're bad Jim Ratcliffe propaganda. So it means that most of you guys are hating on the video, man. So listen, guys, big up to everybody who's here. Make sure you tune into United Real Therapy, man. We're going to be going live out here. Big up to you, my guy Freddie. Said Jim trying to cancel Saeed and Nuruddin. Yo, I'm telling you, man, the street says safe, man. The street says safe, man. I'm telling you, man. All the United security, man, they know it's me and Nuruddin, man. It's almost as if they don't want like no trouble. When they see me, they're like, yo, is everything all right? Everything good, yeah? I'm like, bro, I'm just coming to watch the game, man. Don't worry, man. I'm not going to call the Glazers out. I'm not doing a protest. I'm not doing no protest. Don't worry, man. You know what I mean? I'm all good, man. But listen, make sure you tune in United Real Therapy after this. Brian, it's been a pleasure as well, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully you
get me. Arsenal, by the way. Big up, Brian. Hold Arsenal.
Yeah. By the way, he's not an Arsenal fan. He's just taking a mick out of Arsenal because a lot of
Nah, Merry Bottleness to the Arsenal fans. I hope you enjoyed your Premier League title this year that apparently you won on Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you lot. Yeah, man, it was a beautiful season. What was it? 8 points ahead. What was it? 248 days at the top of the table, and somehow, some way, you didn't win the league. So that was good. So yeah, man, my name is Brian. Make sure you follow the YouTube, you follow the socials. You get me? Everything is the same. Thank you, Saeed. Today, I enjoyed myself.
Come on, man. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about, bro.
It was fun, man.
Absolutely, man. Big up Aaron as well. Make sure you check out the video on the Vinicius situation. Like I said, solidarity with Vinicius as well. Always, you know what I mean? We will always fight against racism, man. So, you know what I mean? La Liga, you're a disgrace, man, innit? You know, that president, you're a disgrace. But Aaron, been a pleasure, man. Aaron Sakaya on all socials, man. Big up, bro.
Yes.
Love
always a pleasure to come on, man.
Absolutely. But guys, join us on United Real Therapy. I'll be live as well later on as well, Premzy TV as well. But yeah, join us United Real Therapy as well now, where we're going to pack in. Who's going to stop Man City? Who? Thank you, guys.